Greetings, Earthlings, as Ron tries to. Welcome to the Three Beards podcast. We are back live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We found a cosmic traveler who likes to travel all the outer realms, everything from the high seas piracy up to modern age conspiracies and sinister mysteries. That might be a reference to something he does with certain somebody that might be on screen right now. But we are brought to you live by Earth Radio. Check them out, Mixlr.com. Go to Mixlr.com, set up your account there. Follow shows, obviously ours, along with Into the Outer Realms, Dimensions of the Supernatural with Maureen. And also, you can listen in as Ron does his live drives as he drives around the countryside of Minnesota, doing his daily tasks. So we keep hoping we're going to see something paranormal on one of these drive ones, because then I'll have it live. So a nice UFO thing would be pretty cool. So check that out. So Joey Medea, man, the myth, the legend, the guy who does not like free time at all. He is constantly busy. He has joined us again. If we're not mistaken, this is number 8, 7 or 8 at a time. So he is. He's not scared of us, so that's good. We're doing something right. So he's going to be on right now. So everybody, I need you to sit back, relax, get ready with those questions. Everybody in the chat, I want you guys to think about here too, because I'm going to give you guys a little tease here. All right, I got three headlines for you guys. All right, the first one is going to be one that we are going to talk about, and it's assault by deadly sausage. So we're going to talk about this event, but the one I want you guys to debate of which one you guys would rather hear about. Do you want to hear about Prisoner Shanghai, or do you want to hear about Roadkill Rest Area? Which one do you want to hear? So Prisoner Shanghai or Roadkill Rest Area? So I want to see the chat going crazy with that. You guys pick which one, and we'll definitely cover that one. So, all right, sit back, and we will be right back after this with Joey Medea, and that is right now. Welcome to the Three Beards podcast. My name is Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right.
Justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
All right, that's just ridiculous, but funny as hell. Oh, yeah. So Brian created that, so I had to put that on the screen. Told everybody to have to do that, Ed. So
I was trying to do something quick while I was picking my kid up at school. And actually, what I wanted to do is put your head on Buffalo Bill so you were dancing as well, but we didn't want to go there. So Maybe next time.
Yeah, so right now, as I said, so far I'm looking at the one people that are talking about is that we've got a couple. M.A. Allen's voting for the prisoner Shanghai is what we got right now. So that's so everybody else you got to chime in on there.
Vote, but if MA starts some shit tonight, we're going at it.
Yeah,
MA. But yeah.
So Joey was saying that it didn't play on his end, so I'm not sure what's going. So tell me if anybody else saw it like that. It's like who knows? It might. Yeah, there's somebody saying young Brian. No, that was actually me. He put me.
That wasn't young Brian. That was that was Craig.
That was me. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, he made me Buffalo Bill. That's awesome." All right, Joey, how are you, sir? Welcome back.
I am good. Now,
I was thinking you should stick that in the top of someone's truck at work. Just looking down, like they're looking up at it.
Well, have you ever seen the Office one where it's actually somebody has a picture of Buffalo Bill looking down, taped to the ceiling, and there's a basket hanging down from the ceiling, and it has the lotion.
100%. That is
pretty awesome.
Somebody's gonna have to send me the video. I got a black screen, and it said your browser failed to play the video clip.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you in Messenger, so that way you can see it. I got it. Yeah, so
cool.
But yeah, no, man, it is. It's been actually a while since you've been on, but
yeah,
welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It is number 8, believe it or not.
Yes. And this is what Joey is, for anybody that doesn't know the behind the scenes, he is a consummate planner. He likes to have things in order. He has the things he likes to know what's coming on. And I told him, you're coming on the show, and I'm not telling you what you're not going to know what we're talking about. You're not going to know any. It's just going to be.
I have no notebooks, and I actually put myself on a news blackout for the past 12 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that for?
Kind of feels neat.
Otherwise, I would have started making notes and being a show host myself, turning the conversation to familiar ground. So I really now, Craig, I was telling you, when I do these kind of unscripted shows in the UK and South Africa, they're very popular. People like them. The producers are only a little frightened, but they usually invite me back. So
yeah, I like them. It's one of those things to kind of give people a heads up. In the new year, we're going to be doing a little bit more of the lighthearted and trying to get on this stuff, because we'll touch on stuff like there was in Vegas at UNLV, there was a shooting.
Oh yeah,
today.
So so there was I think 4. I'm not sure about if anybody died. I know there was 4 people. The last I thought was 4 people injured, and the shooter was killed. I think
the shooter was killed, and there are fatalities. They haven't said how many.
Okay, so there are fatalities. Yeah, because I just saw those brief reports, and so there was. So there's stuff like that's going on. I mean, we're definitely going to cover a lot of, we'll cover those things too, but we're going to, I'm really trying. Brian kind of mentioned it, and so I'm trying. So like I said, I've got Florida man stories. That's what those are. So these are all crazy. These are all Florida man stories. So the assault by deadly sausage, the prisoner Shanghai, and that roadkill rest area. So that's
I tell you what, March 5th, I was very close to being one of those Florida man stories if they didn't let me out of the fucking hospital. I would have been looking down in one of those hospital gowns with my ass in the air on 441, trying to hitch my ass home. So I
figured you were in regards to your buddy, the blue heron.
Oh my God, that fucking bird needs to die.
He's got his bird that just hangs out behind his house.
Oh no.
All fucking night long. You have no idea. It's all fucking night long. And then they have a buddy that comes by. It's like, I'm like, one of my buddies is like, dude, is that bird endangered? I'm like, if it keeps that shit up, it is all fucking night. It's crazy. What the? I don't know what the hell's in the water down here. I mean, it smells like ass sometimes, but that's that.
Yeah, that's some of the swamp and stuff. A lot of that's the reclaimed water that they use.
Yeah.
So for everybody, Chris will be he'll be joining us a little later on. He had a family drop by, and so he was hanging out with them.
Crack addict.
Yeah. So for the beginning of the year, what we're going to do is we're still going to have, nothing's really going to change. Like we're still going to have guests. We're going to do all that stuff, but we're just going to really try to set aside time and just kind of do like that little thing you saw with the Buffalo Bill. We're going to try to work in like these little silly skits. We're going to try to do stuff like that just to make it, make it a little more lighthearted and a little, fun. I mean, like I've got plans. Like I really want to recreate the commercial from Ghostbusters.
Oh,
with
nice.
us, when it comes to
for you.
Yeah, we're all in the lab coats, and we got this. So I really want to do stuff like that, because I think it's kind of fun. And so, yes, yep, my favorite pirate, Joe. Yep, he's that's for anybody that doesn't know, that doesn't see Into the Outer Realms, an accomplished author, many books. He is, I would say it's well beyond cosplay. You've actually got, you have a full character established for pirates.
Oh yes, I get paid exceedingly well to do that work. It's crazy. I fell into it, and yeah, the 4 novels, lectures, tours. It's pretty crazy. Hey, Charles,
you dress up as a pirate, or you have a character you develop?
Yeah, no. Well,
you read bedtime stories, like
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have a show called Saturday Morning Storytime Live, so I moved down to North Carolina, and I should say we were talking about shootings. Anybody from North Carolina? There was also a shooting in Newport, which is in Morehead City. Yeah, near Morehead City at a hotel. 2 fatalities. The victim who died at the hospital, and so it was another dark day for that. So anyway, I moved down there, and I had the long hair and the earrings, and they knew I was an actor, and all. They said, "Did anybody ever tell you look like a pirate?" I said, "I love pirates. When I was a kid, I used to dress up like a pirate, like every other Halloween. It was my favorite character." And I do a Scottish accent. So I created a Scottish character, a Scottish pirate named Angus McGregor, who is a nephew of Rob Roy. Now, Rob Roy historically did have a nephew that he raised that they know nothing about. And when I do my historical fiction, I like that kind of stuff. So Angus became incredibly popular. And before I knew it, I was on TV in Japan and news magazine articles and magazine covers, and I've written 4 novels about the characters. And then I did a one-man show where so Angus is fictitious, but I needed a pirate that knew all the other pirates in the golden age of piracy. Blackbeard and Charles Vane, and any fans out there, Black Sails, all those characters. Jack Rackham and all, and I played all those characters in a one-man show, 9 different pirates, and so it is really lucrative work. It's neat. It's taken me places I never thought I would be before. So it's pretty cool. And this is actually my brand. So that's Angus. I got my own brand.
Well, that's interesting. I created another story, and it's called it's based off of a fictional ship called the Black Jake.
Nice.
And it's a pirate story, and the pirate, which I actually modeled after my father, and my bull terrier is his sidekick, and the bull terrier had a patch over his eye. So I love pirates. I love the history of pirates, pirate treasure, and the complexity actually amongst pirate ships. There is a hierarchy. There is a whole other world there. They're good people, but you know what? When they were tasked to do things, and when they, just like Knights Templars, they were tasked to go do stuff, and when they started being too successful, then they were bad guys. So but there's a really cool code about it, and it's not like Somali pirates. Those people are pussies. There's a lot of stuff in there that's really awesome, and I'm glad you're doing it. I mean,
there is geopolitically, it's incredibly fascinating. Hollywood says they're all drunk and blowing holes in boats. And when I do it, like the little kids, and I am going to get to this question about Blackbeard's treasure. Absolutely, with pleasure. But I say to the kids, I go, sure. So all that pirates do is get drunk on rum, right? And then they blow holes in the side of a ship. Well, what happens when you blow a hole in the side of the ship? They say it sinks under the water, right? So everything in it is useless and you can't get to it. So it's stupid, and you just keep you start pulling it apart. Now, as far as Blackbeard's treasure, check this out. It's really cool. He took over La Concorde, which was a slave ship. So that's like stealing like an F-35 today. If you're a rebel and you get your hands on an F-35, that's what a slave ship was. They were the biggest, they were the best. You modified them, they were fast, and it had tons of treasure. But a prevailing theory that I really buy into is that the treasure was 65 slaves. So when he took La Concorde, he kept 65 slaves, none of which were accounted for when he was assassinated. And he was assassinated. Blackbeard was assassinated in a plot by the colonial lieutenant governor of Virginia and the Royal Navy. It was an illegal kill.
Yep.
He had a legal pardon. And it would be like today if Michigan all of a sudden sent their National Guard to invade Ohio. North Carolina was a sovereign state, and they sent the Royal Navy in from orders of the Virginia governor. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So I think that's what the treasure was. I think it was the 65 slaves. I think that Blackbeard contracted the pox, which was syphilis. And he knew he was going to die and that he was losing his faculties. He had 5 ships with over 500 men. And I think, having lived literally at the beach where he grounded the Queen Anne's Revenge, the former La Concorde, he did it on purpose. It was basically the pirate version of corporate downsizing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a cool way to put it.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, going with what your theory is about the slaves. What's interesting is, yes, pirates did take slaves, and
some did it.
But a majority of these slaves were then brought into the pirate family and were asked to come and join. And a lot of these slaves were like, "Yeah, this is better than like what do? We rape, pillage. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. Yeah, whatever." So there was a lot of equality within the pirates, even with what's her name, Anne Bonnet, and some of the female
and Mary Read.
Oh my
God,
and
Mary Read. Yeah,
and to be brutally honest, the women were more violent and worse than any of the men.
In the case of Anne and Mary, that's
raise
really
your hand
true.
if you're married, folks. Come on, we know it. Craig, come on, put it up.
They were, when they were.
What are you throwing me under the bus here for?
When they were captured with Jack Rackham, they were all put in prison, and they were all put on trial, and they were all sentenced to die. Now, when the Royal Navy came to their ship, Jack and all of his guys dropped their weapons and threw their hands up, and Mary and Anne were armed to the teeth and ready to go. So, long story short, they all get convicted to hang. Anne and Mary go to the judge and say, "Oh, you can't hang us because we're pregnant, and you can't kill an innocent life. That's the law." So one of them died in prison. One of them died of a fever. But anyway, Jack goes to see Anne, who's pregnant with his baby, the night before he's to hang, and he's weeping, and he's so sad. And she says, "Well, maybe if you fought like a man, you wouldn't have died like a dog." And the girls love that. The teenage girls love that on the tours and also. Yeah,
it's the truth.
Just to keep everybody up to date, it looks like Roadkill Rest Area is so far as winning the thing. So we may be talking about that one here too. So
I lived in West Virginia for 10 years. I know all about Roadkill Rest Stops. That's gonna be a good one.
This one, like I said, you got to remember this is a Florida man story. This has everything. Every one of these stories has a Florida man twist, and so don't think this is just some state road that you just pull off the side and you get some really nice bathroom. Like I said, the Florida man is involved, and let's just get you kind of an idea. It's in the Clearwater, Florida area.
Let me tell you something. When you drive through Pennsylvania, it is like a deer apocalypse now. There is blood everywhere throughout the state. And I'll give you advice. If you are driving through the state of Pennsylvania, just stay behind the 18-wheelers because they don't slow down. And make sure you have wiper fluid because deers kind of missed when you hit them. with a Mack truck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my, I've never seen so many. It's like, seriously, it's like the last scene in Platoon, and Elias is there, and there's deer everywhere. It's just insane what goes on, and that goes right into West Virginia, which is a very odd state to begin with too. But
it's the way my mind works. You just brought up Apocalypse Now, and just my mind just goes to the other war movies like Platoon, and we were talking about Tropic Thunder prior to, we wanted to get some clips, and who doesn't like the fact that Ben Stiller got that whole part when he's in there just doing the whole, like he's just getting shot. I mean, they hit all the things. I mean, for the people that hate that movie, it's just one of those. It's like Blazing Saddles. They're doing it to make fun of racism. Because there's a lot of people that are like, Robert Downey Jr., that's so offensive. I'm like, that was the point. It was an actor that literally went through a process of pigmenting his skin so he could play a black man in a Vietnam War movie. It was not supposed to be some serious take like he's pretending to be black. No, it literally was like one of those method actors that really completely engrosses himself in the role. And so he turned himself into a black man so he could play a black man. So that's the whole, I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. That's where that line comes from. You haven't seen it, you got to watch Tropic Thunder. You have to watch that movie.
Thunder, but if you want to hear a great take on that whole thing with Robert Downey Jr., there's a really quick short they do on YouTube. He was on Joe Rogan.
Yes. Yep.
And it is absolutely hysterical. They ask, you think you can do Tropical Thunder again? And Robert Downey's like, well, you could do it, but I mean, and he basically, he said all his black friends were just like that. You killed it. It was great. Yeah. His mother. It's just, you got to watch it's a real quick cut up of all his responses. And you got to see this movie. It's one of those
just the way it's shot. It's like, because when you first watch the movie, you're not sure what it is because they're showing all these different clips from the characters. Jack Black plays that Chris Farley type character who's on drugs, who's got the addiction problems, who's the funny guy that's doing kind of like making fun of the Eddie Murphy characters, where it's just he's playing all, I think they call themselves the fatties or something like that. It's nothing but fart jokes. And you've got Robert Downey Jr., like I said, he's a method actor who does all the serious roles. Ben Stiller's the action hero, and they're showing all these clips, and then they're in this movie, and just the surprise. And I don't think I'm spoiling it by now. Come on. Yeah, Tom Cruise.
No,
Tom
you're not
Cruise
even.
is in it.
That's my favorite thing. That Tom Cruise. If I'm having a bad day, I just watch him do that.
I mean, who does not like
phone call?
I mean, everybody. It's just like here, without watching it, people would find it offensive. But it's just like when he's just tearing the crew apart in that scene, and he hears "You want to fix it? Put him in the shit." And he's like, "Who is that?" Rick Tayback. I wrote the book. He's like, "You're a real American hero. This nation knows you a great debt. Now shut that and let me do my job."
He knows it by heart. Holy mackerel.
Oh, and it's just the whole movie is like that, where it's just nonstop stuff. It just Tom Cruise, you would never see. I mean, he plays this part in when you actually see the thing where it comes in. The fact that he created that character, he wanted prosthetic hands that were hairy and bigger than his hands, and he wanted to have like the hairy chest and be balding, and the whole thing. He created that whole character, and it just Les Grossman. I mean, you want to talk about actually making an iconic character in movie cinema. That's one of those characters. I mean, for anybody who's watched Les Grossman,
he was good. He was actually good in that movie.
He's I got that. He's actually good in that movie. He's based on a famous movie or infamous movie producer named Joel Silver, who would talk to people like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, isn't that fantastic? I mean, just the way they hit on so many things. Just from the Colossal.
This is the importance. There are select movies that are iconic. You mentioned, Joe, probably one of the greatest movies ever made in history is Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day, there are scenes in that movie. To this day, like when there's a scene when Lily Von Schupp's talking to what's his name? About and then she closes the door. She goes, "Ooh, where are you?" I mean, no one catches that scene, but it is classic. And what's really great about this is I'm from, in New York, Channel 11 or 9, one of them used to run it. And they still do today. Uncut.
Takes out
Unedited, unedited, uncut. And I'm like, how the hell are you running this without, some, group coming to your studio and burning it down? Because let me tell you something. It's a, it's an amazing movie, but you got to take it. It's a joke. People have sticks up their ass now.
I mean,
yeah. Well, do you know the SR-71 song Politically Correct? They reference. He says you can't make a Mel Brooks movie today. Saw Blazing Saddles yesterday. I grew up on Blazing Saddles, watching it with my dad and my grandpa, and the campfire. My great grandfather was ancient from Sicily, and that campfire scene where they're eating the beans. He would lose it.
I think you've had enough.
Yeah, or Slim Pickens. Somebody go back to town and get a shitload of dimes.
The toll booth in the middle of the desert.
Oh man, yeah. Badges.
What's
we don't
great
need
about
no
that is
stinking badges.
Gene Wilder's in this movie.
Yeah.
Gene was an amazing actor, an amazing comic. And there's this one scene where Cleavon Little is standing there. He's all depressed about the woman that gives him a hard time in the street. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Good morning, ma'am." And she says, "Up yours," and use the N-word, right? Yeah. So Gene Wilder is trying to, get him back. Like, what do you think? They're simple people of the land. Morons. They must have done that scene 9 times because he still laughs in it. The takeouts, they used to do things with these videos where you would see all these outtakes. They're just as funny and incredible. I don't know how they make the movie. They must have spent days on scenes.
You see that hand? Straight as solid as a rock. Yeah. I shoot with this hand. I mean, I think one of my favorite lines out of the whole thing is honestly, it's like, so what happened? It's like, I just got to where every town I go in, somebody was always challenging me. And I said, one minute I'm walking, I hear, "Reach for it, mister." I turn around and it's a 6-year-old kid. So I threw my guns down and I walked away, and the little bastard shot me in the ass. I just, my God. Awake? I mean, it's like everything.
That depends.
Oh,
we're black.
So it's
very confused.
No, those ones are just some of those movies. I don't know. It's how did everybody become? We grew up, like our generation. We grew up. South Park, Beavis and Butthead, Blazing. We had all this stuff. How did we become so fragile? All of us should be. Literally Teflon. People should be able to come up and say anything, and we're like, what?
So our local junior high school, we do screen printing and branding. So you do like your stuff, your hats or whatever it is. So they want us to do a logo, and they're the tigers. So I give them new logos, like claws and a real tiger and whatever. And they said, "The tiger's too angry. Can you do something different?" And then I got so pissed. I did like 19 different designs, and I literally, I think my partner was on the phone trying to calm them down. Said, "Yeah, we'll work on designs." And I blurted out, "Why don't you change your mascot to a pussy? Because that's what you are." And she was just like, "Oh my God." I mean, like, how do you your mascot's too aggressive. You
just put Hobbs on the top of the shirt now instead of the regular tiger. Just take from Calvin and Hobbs, just picture Hobbs.
Like this, and then put those little plastic things on the claws. I mean, how do you make a nice tiger? It's a freaking tiger.
Yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Sicilian from New Jersey who grew up in the 80s. I was in high school and college in the 80s, and just anything went. We just sorted it out. We sorted it out on our own, and
I don't know what happened.
Take a joke, and a lot of things happen.
So my oldest is in school, and she used to, that's so retarded, and she gets in trouble.
Oh
yeah. You can't use the R word in school anymore.
You can't say, well, I'm going to say all the things. You can't say bury the hatchet anymore.
No. You can't even play cops and robbers if you do this.
Right.
He was threatening the school. No, he's not. They're playing tag, Caps and Manhunter. No.
The one where I never really paid attention to it until one day when I was one of the coaches for one of Chase's teams, and I told them, okay, everybody sit down. Okay, sit, Indian style, and they're like,
oh yeah,
it's now crisscross. Yeah, it's now crisscross. I'm like going, oh my God, everybody was. I like that's how it was always called. I'm like, I never looked at that as offensive. I mean, it's like, but oh my God, oh yeah,
See,
it was just.
This is the thing, like growing up in around the same time, my friends were of every background.
Yeah,
okay.
Mine too. Right.
And the things we would say to each other, just about their moms, right? Your mother is so easy. She gets, whatever. Or do you remember the redneck game? You're just walking and then whap right in the back of the neck. And you're like, what the fuck? You can't do any of this stuff anymore. You can't do a damn thing. You can't call them certain things. Like, you're a, it begins with an F, right? And it's just like, comedians can't even make jokes anymore. It's a freaking joke. If you're offended by a joke, don't go to a fucking comedy club.
Yeah,
they
go after them. They go up on stage, and I know it's a tough time.
I mean, like I've gotten to the point, and I'm not, I'm not that brash all the time, but you get my thing going, and like one person was like getting offended by these things. I said, you know what, man, you're right. You want to protect your child. Why don't you go down, go to U-Haul and wrap your kid in fucking bubble wrap and put them in a closet because they should not be out. They should
wait till you get grazed somewhere else, sir. Then you really are getting old.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is like a lot of the kids growing up nowadays do not understand that ping sound from a rubber ball. And that's how you knew, you were put in your place is when you played dodgeball. You just, because right now, anybody that's our generation, I just said that ping from a rubber ball, we can all visually and mentally hear that sound. Bing! As that ball is like, pow, just pegs you. And that's what it was. There's a viral video out there of this guy. He does this reverse move. And this girl, they're playing dodgeball. It's like a competitive dodgeball game. He does his reverse move, just pegs her square in the head, and she turns around, flips him off, and angrily walks off. It's like, you're playing dodgeball. You're gonna get hit. I'm like, that guy's move was freaking genius. I mean, he just kind of did this weird, like, kind of just this walk, and then all of a sudden just did this immaculate spin move, and just bam, straight shot, just pow, just clipped her.
That was my kids in camp when I had some of my old campers where it became like the counselors with me, and I'm like, dude, these kids are 8-9 years old, and one of my kids, Sonny, he had a gun, and you could see it like it's sailing, and this one little kid jumps up in the air. He hit him so hard the kid spun around 3 times before he hit the ground, and I'm like, oh my God. But the kids loved it. Now you can't do that.
No,
you can't play tag. You can't play dodgeball. You forget the offensive songs. I mean, thank God my youngest was raised by me because she's got better taste. She's crazy, and she's gonna get herself in trouble with some of the jokes, but I'll back her up. Like, she has the right to say it. This is insane.
Yeah.
That's why Florida mans are great, because they just do what the hell they want down here.
Well, you're Florida man here, so why wouldn't we just do that? We'll do the first story here that I teased here. All right. Assault by a deadly sausage. All right. So everybody ready for this one? All right. So St. Petersburg, Florida. 61-year-old Ray Allen was arrested for domestic battery after he allegedly assaulted his spouse when he threw a sausage, striking her in the right side of her face. So after being struck in the side by the sausage, EMS was called and attended to this sausage assault by cleaning her face and flushing her eye with saline solution. He was then arrested and charged on misdemeanor charge of domestic battery. He was mandated by the circuit court judge that he was to have a no contact order. Remind you, this is his wife's spouse, and no word was given on the status of the sausage. So that happened in St. Petersburg, Florida.
In the article. No word on the status.
Yeah, no word on the status of the sausage.
Nobody cares about the sausage.
So it was, you know, so no word on what kind of sauce. Was it Link or Patty? No, it's just he's some. And I think one of the other parts too is one of the comments were like, you know, and the rumor is that alcohol might have been involved. I'm like, you think? I'm like, I think they were both drunk, because I'm like, I mean, I'm assuming that there must have been a history, because I can't imagine anybody is calling the police and 911 for help because they got hit in the face with a piece of sausage. I'm like, that. I think that has to be old Mr. Ray Allen had to has to be sort of a violent person, and this was like the last straw. But yeah, this is Florida Man in St. Petersburg, Florida.
I suppose if you took a sausage patty and kind of flung it, you might be able to do some damage. But your typical, it certainly wasn't a breakfast sausage.
Yeah,
get that right out of there.
I'm just, you know, heat-seeking Jimmy Dean coming right at you.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
Kielbasa, maybe a kielbasa from.
That's what I'm thinking, with some heft, because Italian sausage will kind of disintegrate on contact.
Yeah, it was just it didn't say the time, you know, in the article, but yeah, so I wasn't sure if it was a breakfast sausage or if it was a, you know, Johnsonville brat. We don't know. All we know is it was a sausage that came flying and hit her in the face.
Wow.
Were they using uncured meats, or were they, you know, like were they using fresh and tested?
They didn't give you much of those. They didn't give you much of those details. Yeah.
It never detailed play.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of jump all over the place here. I wanted to get your guys' take on this. I was watching a program, the Y-Files, and they had a show. One of the shows they did was on Project Looking Glass. For anybody that doesn't know anything, Project Looking Glass. I think this might be a good one for something that we do together.
Yes, sir.
I know about Project Looking Glass, but keep going.
Yeah, so, you know, for anybody that doesn't know the story, this comes Majestic 12. It ties into MK Ultra, ties into all these things where what goes into the white privilege card.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
So
I'm throwing it down, MA. I'm throwing it down.
You know, so what happens in this story with Project Looking Glass is apparently there was these Sumerian cylinders that were found that actually had directions on how to create this device, the Looking Glass, that was allowed these people to see into past, present, future, see these events. And then, so what this did is, as these go through, and that's where we get the different versions of the grays, what are called the P45s and the P52s, which are present plus 45,000 years and present plus 52,000 years. And so that's where the number, the P45 or P52, comes in when they're referring to the aliens. I think this is where J-Rod was one of the P52s. And these are ones where they're different timelines. The P45s are from a timeline that wants chaos, destruction, and the P52s are the ones that want peace. They want the harmony with everything, you know, just the peaceful timeline. And so there's a lot of people that think that we're on the timeline of P45s because of all the chaos that's going around, that we're on that timeline. So, okay, so now I've got everybody kind of on the basis of it. So what their theory is that a lot of these actions, because this was discovered in, you know, so Sumerians, obviously the Mesopotamia area, these cylinders are found, and as they discover more of these cylinders, they've got to go in them. Well, unfortunately, we are not on the best of terms with a lot of countries that are over there. So a lot of the actions that took place, like the first invasion of Iraq, was a cover story so we could go collect some more of these cylinders.
Yep.
That were the antiquities. And the second Gulf War was another one where more were discovered and we had to go in there and get them, because then they'll play the clips of like, we're hoping for like President Bush when he senior, when he says, you know, a new world order. Well, that's what from these cylinders, same way George Bush, he's trying to find it here. But there's also, the show didn't talk about it, but I started doing a little research, and there's when we overthrew, we didn't do it, but Muammar Gaddafi, that there were cylinders discovered in Libya, and there's cylinders discovered in Syria, and so these are areas that are currently with conflicts. And there's one of these things that these missions, so the whole ISIS thing was a cover story to get in there. That's why we have troops in Syria, is because that's the cover story, so we can get in there and get these artifacts and bring them back to this facility so they can put it with Project Looking Glass and help dial in, this machine.
There's two things here. You're talking about cylinders, and there are cylinders involved. Okay, but they're also talking about, but they're basically Stargates,
Mhm.
and they're big circles and gates. It looks like Stargate, from SG, whatever the hell you.
Well, the cylinders are the maps.
Yeah, well, that's the directions. You need
Mhm.
X, Y.
It's kind of like Stargate, where you have to get the code, the different symbols. That's
Right,
what these cylinders are. These are like your data points.
right. 3 eggs, cup of sugar, butter, whatever. So just so you know, along the lines of what that is. So there are 2 other places that have been talked about that have things in it that are of interest to other people.
Afghanistan.
No. Besides, India, all over Pakistan, because of the Pakistani giant and some other stuff. 2 places, one of which they just discovered something. I believe it was like second or the third week of September. And that was in an archaeological dig in Gaza.
Which
Gaza had something. And also there is a lot of talk about the Temple Mount in Jerusalem and what's below it. Yeah.
So that was, like I said, that was a little distraction, but yeah, that's one of the. I think Project Looking Glass would actually probably be a good show.
That's a good one. That's housed at S4, isn't it?
Yes.
Where the White Rabbit statue is, and Project Alice and the Looking Glass.
It was. There's also Yellow Cube. See there.
Right.
Here's the thing with Project Looking Glass, right? It's not just these Sumerian tablets and cylinders and gates. There are other items. There are actually 3 items in question. One of it's a Yellow Cube, and with that alone, these come from recovered items from extraterrestrial crafts that we recovered. When placed together, they can use to look into multiple timelines, and you can actually use a computer to say, well, if we tweak this, if this does not happen, what's the outcome? And so this is one of the reasons why where there's a guy that was formerly president that's running again, and I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want people just to boo us or whatever. But his uncle, who was in the government and were charged of a lot of really important things, a lot of this stuff may have been used by Tesla, and a lot of this information. And there is, it's pretty spot on. The man knows a lot of stuff that he shouldn't know. He's known every outcome. And if he said X, Y, and Z is going to happen, X, Y, and Z happened. And the reason why I understand that is the case is his people that were put in charge of that stuff, and now they had it, because at one point, those 3 items that were critical were divided among 3 different locations. And if you weren't paying attention to what he was doing during his presidency, he was going to certain locations, and then there was a statement made, and it was a tweet: "We've got it all." And there's a really good shot. He foresaw all this coming and had a plan about it, because it's not a coincidence to us.
No, he's an interesting guy with the whole Baron von Trump stuff.
It's
And
very
the
interesting.
hot air balloon with the Trump name on it. And then his uncle was an MIT professor. He took 40 boxes of Tesla's documents when he died in I think it was the Hotel New Yorker.
Yep.
And then had it and said, nothing to see here. There's nothing of value in these 40 boxes from Tesla. I mean,
It's
such
nothing wrong.
horseshit.
He got it before the FBI raided, because the minute Tesla died, the FBI was in there in the and he was moving this stuff out because he knew he was connected within the government. And Don was really close to his uncle.
Yeah.
And someone who's very close to the genius of his uncle and kind of looks a bit like him is Barron.
Yes.
What are you guys' thoughts on that book?
You
think it's real?
It's spooky.
Yeah.
It's spooky, and it seems to be legitimate. I mean, they talk about a tower, which is obviously Trump Tower, that they go down. I mean, when you look at the book, the detail is really hard you
Yeah,
know,
because
he
a lot of
could've-
people like, what's fake? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, this was written way before. It's supposedly way before. That's why I said, I go, if this is legit, I mean, it's like Jerry, you're saying, it's scary. It's scary
There's
how
2 books.
accurate it is.
There's 2 books, and the
Yeah.
second book has a bunch of stuff in it too. There's a lot of weird stuff. There is a tile pattern at Mar-a-Lago that basically is the 2-headed eagle. That's, you know, he and Putin may have connections beyond, you know, it's
Well,
very interesting stuff.
It's also very interesting. When him and Putin met, if you saw the ceremony, Putin gave him a special soccer ball, and rumor has it there's a lot of evidence that was sewn into that soccer ball and files, and someone who is an absolute whiz at the computer is Barron. And he goes, I know somebody who's going to love this. And Barron is like an idiot savant. So if this is the case, you can see the past, present, and future, which you can.
Yeah.
And if there's a way you can travel through time, because I think these, you know, these gates, these tubes, you know, whatever, it's not just to go forward, it's to go backwards.
Yeah.
Write everything you need to know, how it's going to play out. You see the future, give yourself a roadmap, a guide. And what better way to just describe, you know, disguise it in a book, go back to 18, whatever, have somebody release it, and it's all there.
Yeah.
You guys,
Because nobody's gonna believe he did it.
Well, isn't it true that isn't it true that Werner von Braun, who also would have had access to the technology, didn't he write a book about a guy named Musk leading leading humanity to Mars? And he wrote that book in like the 1950s. I don't think that's a hoax.
So I don't think that's a hoax either, but there was the interview with Werner von Braun by the reporter.
Yeah.
And they went to lunch, and he said, you have no idea, folks. We were this close.
Yeah.
We were like within an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Well under like 3 for everybody being, you know, having a shorter mustache and their hands permanently in a certain position.
Yeah.
Which and he was asked, you were so close. Where the hell did you get all this technology? How'd you do this? And without missing a beat, von Braun went, we had help from them.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Townsend Brown said it. Otis Carr said it.
And in some timelines, they've actually found things that they believe have come from different timelines, because in different timelines, the Third Reich is now the Fourth Reich. They have found current coins with the swastika on it, and with, you know, it's very, very strange here.
Yeah. I think Philip K. Dick was tapped into stuff. He was very into the I Ching. That's how he wrote his books. And Man in the High Tower, I think, is possibly a legitimate alternate timeline. I want to sweeten the pot, maybe complicate it, but all those places that you were talking about with these cylinders and all of this, that's also where there's a heavy jinn presence.
Yes.
All those places.
Now you're sweetening the pot.
What do you think? Do you think that, like, you know, because that whole thing, you know, this goes back to like the 40s and 50s, like right about Werner von Braun's and these things, you know, these guys. What are your thoughts on maybe these guys were involved, like in this Project Looking Glass, you know, thing, and that's where they got some of this information, because it's like I said, it's uncanny how they think, because then they would know how, you know, these, because like you would see it's like, well, how would you guys know this stuff? Well, it's because they were able to literally view the timeline, and they saw this stuff, and then they just literally from memory wrote it down.
Yeah.
In my years doing investigations, your research, investigating all the strange stuff, you know, UFOs, Bigfoot, whatever it is, there are numerous people that after a while, they don't just normally throw out to you and say, hey, this is all the information you're going to need to know. There's going to be 3 wars, blah, 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 blah. Because mentally and emotionally, you're not prepared for this. But somebody in the military would be prepared for it. And then also someone who has had repeated abductions or interactions would be like, okay, what else do we need to know? So I don't think they had the looking glass, but I do think they've seen if they're having interactions with extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, then the interdimensionals know what's going to happen, and they can say, like, look, this is what's going to happen. This is a guy named Elon Musk. He's going to be coming up. He's going to do the space program. He's going to be the one leading to Mars. And this is what you need to know. Rockets are this. That's where the technology comes. It's easy to do. Okay. I mean, that's where the connections are. I'm not a big Musk fan. I got to be honest.
I'm not either.
There's something really, really creepy about that guy. I mean, like Antichrist type of creepy. I really want to get that far. I don't trust his ass to begin with. You know.
Oh, I'm obsessed with SpaceX. You know, as I said, that was so awesome how they were able to fire that rocket finally, and they got all 33 engines to work together. That was just that was such a cool sight watching that thing lift.
I mean, I'm obsessed with SpaceX too, but wait, you're talking about SpaceX. I'm talking about space sex. Okay, totally different thing.
Yep.
We'll go back to your mind.
Yep.
Yeah,
you added 2 letters there, sir.
Yes, I did. Nikki.
Hey, before we get too far, I wanted to say, because we were talking about the Trump things. Like, have you guys ever seen the picture where somebody created what Trump would look like if he actually grew a beard?
Mm-mm.
No.
You guys. If for anybody that hasn't seen this is actually the look that he should go with. It's so much better.
That's a good look.
I'm taking forever because
I know we got to wait for his dial-up to kick in.
My bird is fucking wounded. Sorry, Ron, about the F-bombs.
Yeah, so
that is a good look. It's a little Donald Pleasance in Halloween.
No, you know what it's more? It's more Sean Connery.
A little bit. Yeah, nice. So
how about
the other thing too, and I was I think it's just a fad, but what is with all the billionaires now with cowboy hats and the cowboy wear?
That's getting
Bezos is doing it. Musk is doing it all of a sudden. Everybody's wearing cowboy hats. Even Bezos' girlfriend. I mean, oh my God, did you see everybody ripping on them with their Vogue photo shoot? Everybody was saying we were pretty sure that Bezos was making out with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's almost as good as when what's his name from Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose is there with Mickey
Rourke. And the thing was like they look like a lesbian couple in Portland that own a bookstore.
Oh, that was
yeah. Somebody posts that about Goo Goo Dolls too. It's kind of cruel, even for me.
I'm gonna find those I'm gonna find the picture here so you guys could see it. But yeah, y'all get here's a good one here. So this is the random stuff we do, man. Here. All right, so here's the Vogue photo shoot, and once you think Steven Tyler.
Oh boy.
Especially that's Lauren Sanchez.
Well, I gotta be honest. There's a lot of hype and talk about all these power players. Like, did you see Henry Kissinger's wife? She's a handsome woman.
Yeah.
Take a look, throw up a picture of Henry Kissinger's wife. I gotta be honest, it looks like a dude in a dress.
Yeah, that one on the left with just Lauren Sanchez. You could make a case that that's Steven Tyler.
Oh yeah.
You could also make a case that she's illegal and therefore she won't get any money from him when they get divorced.
Oh.
Ooh.
Brian
coming in hot with some facts here.
Tonight as well.
He comes ready to
there
play.
I go. Greg, don't leave home without the race card. Thank you very much.
He's got it all.
Yes, I do. I got jokes.
You know what's tied to Project Looking Glass, and Craig, I think it's another one we could tackle on Sinister Mysteries, is Project Pegasus, Robert Basaglia. Some interesting, you can follow that trail pretty far before it starts to break down. The Gettysburg picture I find really sketchy. But he talks about these purple beams of light that were their in-out sort of portals. Mm-hmm. And I actually know a dude in Pennsylvania. That's all I'll say, Pennsylvania. He actually saw one of those in the field one night. It just came up out of nowhere. It was exactly as Basaglia describes it. It was interesting.
Well, and because we've talked about predictive programming for movies and everything.
Yeah.
There's Contact was the device that they built,
Mhm.
in that thing, that they're pretty sure that is what the Project Looking Glass device is.
Mm.
That it's that thing in the center with the rings that through the technology, those rings go around it and they create that field. And that's what allows the person inside there to view. And that's why I said they're pretty sure that like that Contact was, there's kind of like third, Close Encounters was the same thing. Like this is actually showing us this is what we got. But we're going to just kind of frame it as this weird sci-fi type movie.
Yeah, Carl Sagan was connected. Yeah.
Nah, Carl Sagan was an asshole.
Well, he was,
sorry.
but I don't think it's mutually exclusive. A lot of these connected guys are assholes.
Just a fucking dick.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he
I'm
was
sorry.
arrogant,
I'm
right?
sorry.
No,
I'm being
you're
a
right.
little
You're
more-
right.
I also have a theory that Stephen Hawking, he just wasn't the brains behind the operation. His actual interpreter, the guy that did the interpreting for Stephen Hawkins, was the fucking genius.
Appreciate that, Dave. That is true. And guess what? It's going to be even better once you're on it here on the 20th.
What's going on? Who's in the 20th?
Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio.
Dave Scott's in the chat.
Yeah, and he's going to be in show on the 20th. So
Dave Scott got my ass in a little bit of trouble here. Really did.
Did he?
Is that the tones that we hear?
Is that because you kept making fun of a certain somebody?
No, I'm not making fun of anybody. You got me in trouble. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Spaced Out Radio, Dave. We're gonna have to put the foil on, Coach.
Not to co-op your show, but speaking of predictive programming, Tanya and I are going to watch it Friday night. There's a new movie that just dropped on Netflix called Leave the World Behind, about a cyber attack that
really?
The whole internet and cell phone and everything grid. And the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the Fourth Reich,
Wrestling Federation,
pretty much said at their January conference in 2023 that in 2024 there's going to be a major cyber attack. So this movie dropping is interesting.
Well, I totally believe they use media
right,
and things to give you hints of what's coming.
Yeah,
but not necessarily the bad guys.
Right.
The people that are in the know, like, we got to tell them about this. That's why, I mean, like, I actually just did an interview for another place in Spaced Out Radio. I just did the other night on Saturday, and I was talking about how disclosure's all BS because it already happened 1977 in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. There's your disclosure. And I said, here's your proof. And I showed the video of Dr. Hynek just standing there taking his pipe out when the fucking aliens come out, and they're gray and they're little and they're, it's like, hi, I don't have to say anything. I'm speaking volumes here, but I can see that happening. I think a lot of people or anybody associated with the WEF need to no longer LIVE.
Yeah, well, that would be the simple solution, right? But it's so insidious. You get into Peter Thiel and the Thiel Institute, and he's got all his minions out now, right? Eric Weinstein, Jess Marcel. These guys are getting access, they're getting views, and they're all from the Thiel Institute. I'm onto all of this stuff now. All of Silicon Valley was funded by Q-Intel, right? The venture capitalist arm of the CIA. People need to know this stuff.
But they don't. They're shutting people down. I mean, certain people, OMG Media, right? O'Keefe just showed a video. It was really funny. He was doing it on Instagram, and his video, he was trying to go through his iPhone, and it was all getting funky. And then it went to a black screen, and you get this little wheel that spins. I'm like, I only recently got that. I know that someone's listening to my phone. I've had conversations about things that were, some of it was UFO related or with certain individuals. And in my car, you can see who's on the. You can see who you're talking to.
Uh-huh.
So if you have a third party on the line, it'll tell you both lines. And it came up and it said something really quick. And on my phone, and I'm like, okay. And I mentioned, I said, we're being listened to right now.
I get this weird thing on my phone constantly, just in the past 3 or 4 months, syncing in the background. I've never seen that before.
That's because they're pulling information from your phone.
Yeah.
And I mean, you shouldn't trust any of these things, but you know what? I already probably, I have friends in agencies that have letters in it and stuff. I never asked them. I'm sure there's a file. I'm not anybody of importance, to be honest, but I've talked to people in the intelligence community. They ask me for my assessment and I give it to them, and I read body language really well. And they're giving me like even the eyes, like, how the fuck did he know this? And they don't realize we grew up in a generation where we actually could think.
Yeah.
We could put 2 to 2 together pretty quickly. And depending on where you lived, you do it quicker.
Yeah.
So if you grow up in certain areas, and I'm not saying, we're better. You grow up in New York tri-state area, you're on the streets, you know the ins and outs of certain thing, who's going to try, you can pick it up. And we were smarter. We were reading, we were following everything at once.
Now, predictive programming. Have you guys seen this? McDonald's is coming out with this. It's their new spinoff restaurant, Cosmics. It's an alien-themed restaurant.
Interesting.
You remember the alien commercials back in the early, I think it was 90s and stuff, where they had the aliens come down. They were trying to steal the fries.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's my thing, McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's to eat healthy. Put all the crap back in it, and for the love of God, deep fry your fucking apple pie again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, according to this thing,
do it. Yeah.
This isn't going to be like a regular McDonald's. They're going to cater to a lot of the stuff like beverages.
Are they going to have bugs in it?
They'll have like they'll have the Egg McMuffin. I think will be, all day type thing. It just hash browns and stuff. They're going to have these like some foods, but it's going to be like a whole different style type restaurant. But yeah, so it's going to be alien themed. So yeah, Cosmics. I'm interested to check it out and see what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
And so that's
deal with McDonald's or do any of that anymore.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't either. And if you do it, your body tells you it was a mistake within a half an hour.
I mean,
you'll feel it.
I'll tell you the truth. We grew up in a different generation. When the chicken sandwich came out, it was like a real piece of chicken.
Yeah,
it wasn't all the same color and whatever. When the nuggets came out, it was amazing. And then they made some kind of chemical Soylent Green paste out of it to make these, and it doesn't taste the same. None of it does. Their burgers don't taste the same.
No.
And I don't want to really personally support an organization that doesn't even hire people. This is where people were making money. Maybe some that were down on their luck or they needed an extra job, whatever. They don't even hire people anymore. You got to go through a kiosk, that's there. And if you take a swab of the kiosk, you're going to find that 99% of it's covered in human feces. I don't want to touch their food. I don't want two people in the back just working, not getting paid well. No. Sorry. Mick, no fucking way. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And speaking of giving you, stomach issues, it's time for Roadkill Rest Area.
Yes.
All right.
Rest stops are known homosexual hangouts. Okay, but go ahead, Greg.
Oh, God.
Lest we get too serious.
Name that movie, everybody. Name that movie. All right, Clearwater, Florida. Rudy Wilcox was arrested and charged by Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for exposure of sexual organs after he was found in the intersection of Belcher Road and Willow Tree Trail pooping on a dead possum at 5:20 in the afternoon. When the Clearwater PD pulled up on him in the intersection, he was viewed with his pants down and in the process of defecating on a dead possum in the middle of the intersection. Upon his arrest, the incoherent Rudy Wilcox, claimed that he was, that he was innocent, and that these allegations were created by the officer who doesn't see straight. So roadkill rest area. Mr. Rudy Wilcox was pooping on a dead possum in the middle of the intersection, broad rush hour traffic.
Rudy.
So I said, roadkill rest area.
I can't get that to track. That is a complicated thought process. I really got a crap. There's a possum. That's where I got a crap.
In the middle of the intersection, there's a dead possum, and I'm just gonna.
The place is immaterial. Life is about risk. But I just don't get the connection between having to void your bowels and go on a possum.
I'm like, so everybody said that one. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna give the other one too, just because this one's funny as hell too. Okay. The Prisoner Shanghai. This one, we're gonna go. So that one once. I did that one first. All right, Prisoner Shanghai. This takes place in Statesville, North Carolina. This was a Florida man. So Joshua James Pinkett from Orlando was arrested when he was driving a van full of prison inmates for his job. He passed the intended destination of Hickory. Deputies received a bolo, be on the lookout for inmate transport that was traveling on I-40. The caller was the owner of this inmate transport company, who was getting text messages from the passenger, who's a fellow employee, where Joshua James Pinkett said that he was quitting in mid-shift while he's in the process of transporting. So he decided that he's going to quit his job, but he's also not going to let drop the prisoners off. He just takes them. Now we're on a joyride. So now authorities are searching for a man who has now kidnapped 4 inmates and his fellow coworker in a van, and he's gone rogue. So he's literally shanghaied 5 people in this van, and so he's driving along. Well, they finally stop him, and he said he's been charged with 5 counts of felony second-degree kidnapping and felony larceny for just quit mid-job and just decided to kidnap everybody in the van. And so this was an Orlando man, so another Florida man. So that's So that's gangster.
Can you hold a prisoner?
Apparently you can kidnap an inmate. I don't know.
Okay.
Take an inmate to work day.
So he just decides to quit mid-shift. But that you quit in ultimate fashion, to where not only do you quit, but you're going to be riding in the same van.
That is great. MA put up bath salts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, the bath
salts was what I was going to say about the possum thing, right?
Well, yeah, and there's one. It happened several years ago. I'm not sure the location, but a homeless guy, same thing. He climbed up a light pole. He was on top of the light pole, so he's right above like the red, green, lights, and he's squatting down, pooping on down on traffic. So he's right above an intersection, just trying to defecate on cars. So he's like a human, I see the birdies doing it, I'm going to do it too. I mean, just whacked out of his mind. He's just up on a pole pooping. I mean, so I said, these are Florida man ones. So I said, I'm going to try to come up with some of these cool ones for every show, and just try to have these cool little things. But yeah, because they're just lighthearted.
There was something in the article about disorientation, right?
In which
the possum pooper.
The possum one, yeah, that he was basically claiming that Clearwater PD was making it all up, and that because the officer couldn't see straight, and so that's why he thought he was pooping on. Even in the article, I didn't write all this up. They said evidence was clearly at the scene. So I'm not sure if they collected the dead possum that was pooped on. So I'm not sure, but yeah.
CSI never has to pick up shitty possum.
They would if they had CSI Florida. Yeah, you'd get a lot of this stuff.
Go get it there, rookie.
So those are your Florida man stories for things. So for anybody that likes this thing, I'm going to kind of do that. I'm going to try to do like polls and stuff, like for what people want to see.
Shanghai sounds a little Con Air, but just like low class, low rent, knockoff Con Air.
Yeah. Wow. So those are the Florida man stories of the week. But that's I'm sure we'll get some really good ones come Christmas time.
Wow.
Those are gonna be some great ones. One, like I said, jumping all over the place too. We'll talk about like predictive programming. Joey has mixed reviews on this movie. I actually liked it. No One Will Save You.
Here we go.
I'm not sure if Brian saw that one.
No.
I liked it till the third act.
Yeah,
Which one was it?
No One Will Save You. The problem is with one of those. I'm kind of there with Joey too a little bit, but because it's one of those. There's several movies that always fit into this category where it's kind of like Fifth Element. You know, it's kind of a cheesy movie. You know, when you go back and you watch it again. But the thing is one of those things like they have a really great movie, but they don't know how to finish it. They don't know how to wrap it up. Like Last Starfighter, same thing. Well, you know, that's going back to the 80s one. Great movie, great concept to get to the end, and it's just kind of like, it didn't really. But really wrap it up the best.
There's a difference. There are movies that try to get you into a story and make, you know, they have this story and they want you to jump into it, and you're like, I don't give a shit what's going on in this. And then in The Fifth Element, they didn't make you jump into the story. You are part of the journey. And the different characters there, I mean, the negotiation scene, you know. Right.
My favorite one is, give me the cash. Give me the drug guy outside the thing with the gun.
My favorite is when he's going, the gun, give me the gun. And the guy, tosses him the two, bowling ball, the pool cues. Like that, thanks. I mean, there's certain scenes there, but they're the same guy that authored that book authored another one, and visually it was appealing, but I didn't give a damn about the story.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No One Will Save You for me is that one. That was probably the closest thing to that moment, like in Communion, when the alien appears behind the bookcase.
Why?
The way that they do this with this No One Will Save You.
Had to watch.
Got to watch. He stored it in his ass, and now it's yours. That's a whole different movie, sir.
Oh, we're not talking about that.
That's Pulp Fiction. Yeah, this
movie was.
But this one, the way that they did the alien reveal was actually really, really well. No One Will Save You. I really liked it. I liked the way that they revealed the alien.
It was all about the lead. It was all about the lead character and rendering her completely unsympathetic, and I felt like I had wasted my time. That was really my beef, and my understanding is the director did it on purpose because it was good. It was good clickbaity, controversial stuff, and I just think as a screenwriter and as a creative myself, I think you're wasting my time when you do that kind of thing. So that's how I felt. But the first 85% of the movie, I was with it. Yeah, what was that?
That was the Big Brother chiming in.
It sounded like air being let out of a balloon.
Holy crap! What the heck was that?
It probably had something to do with somebody made a comment on about Biden, so it probably alerted.
Get him back to SeaWorld, for Christ's sake. They're on to us.
And Alan, thanks for the stars, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those like these movies. I think they're really kind of like the same thing with like McDonald's thing. It really seems like everything's all in on alien stuff right now. So it makes you wonder: is something big coming, or is this just one of those things where this is just like the cycle? Aliens are kind of the in thing, and so now we're going to do everything we can to cash in on it.
Well, I really do. Initially I didn't think they were going to do Project Bluebeam, which is where they fake an alien invasion and they're actually going to kill you with whatever machines they have. And I do know that the U.S. is about 150 years ahead of everybody as far as technology is concerned. So they got shit that will get you to Mars and whatever. And if they want to blast you, they're going to. So I didn't think of it at the time, but after hearing that during the conflict in the Middle East right now, that some men were having these visions and seeing Jesus come to them at night and hearing him. They literally were seeing him. This is technology. I know we have mouth to skull technology where they used it in the second Gulf War to get these guys to give up. They literally can talk to him. Why are you doing this? Allah doesn't want you to be here. Blah, blah, blah. No one's around you for miles, and these guys were all unnerved. So that if they can do it with the mouth, we know that they're trying to do things where they're trying to advertise while you're sleeping for the McRib or whatever, and they invade your mind while you're sleeping, which is real messed up if you think about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that made up the McRib is no longer
McRib,
here.
delicious.
I think
that fake pork product is amazing.
They could be doing this blue beam thing and trying to fake it right now. That's why they're prepping you for it. Sorry. Go ahead, Joey.
No. I think so. I don't want to bleed this down and simplify it because I'm not a fan of oversimplification. I think that's why we're in the trouble that we're in. But following disclosure very quickly, following this whole AI transhumanism thing, the CIA venture capitalism and seeding, Blue Beam, all of it. The players are so, from the Tom DeLonges to the John D'Souza's, the ex-FBI agent, to the Stephen Greer. It gets complicated, and you'll give up, and they want you to give up, right? And you got like Eric Weinstein and Jesse Marcel who seem to be so with it, and they're from Teal, and Teal's got this whole WEF type agenda. I think everybody just look at the end of the day. What I tell people on my show and what I'm going to say on yours is keep your eyes open. Be super, super skeptical in the best way. Question everything, because look what happened on Sunday in the Red Sea. That looked false flaggy. That looked like Remember the Maine and Remember the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
So I just think if the more that people, a really cool thing was after that drone attack thing on Sunday in the Red Sea, Gulf of Tonkin was trending on every platform, on Google, on Twitter. And that's really good. The more that people are going, if it looks like shit and it smells like shit, I don't have to taste it to know that it's shit.
Well,
and
you know exactly. And there's a lot. I don't want to go into what was going on in the Middle East right now because it's going to get you banned. We're going to get banned.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, sorry if I.
No. But what I'm going to say is,
no, he'll get us banned, not you.
Okay,
I'll get you banned.
Okay.
There is a different. There's some really weird shit going on. There's a lot of PR for bad people going on. There's also PR that's not working for some other people. There's one country that's made up of two different types of individuals there, and one is pretty much controlled by the deep state, and one is like, get the F out of here. We're going to live with these people, and we have no problem. There is there's a genocide taking place and whatever, and you've got to be very careful about this narrative, like you're saying. But what's interesting is they're using, I don't believe everything on TikTok, but there's a lot more truth coming out on TikTok with certain things being able to be released than anyplace else. I mean, there was a house in Arlington that just blew up, James Wu's house.
Yes.
Okay, here's what's messed up about the whole thing. Because I got the video and I posted it on one of my Telegram channels, which is The Truth, or the Whole Truth, or something like that. While they were rolling this on a video, Wu is actually commenting to them after it blew up, and he was commenting on the video. It's insane. So the man that they said is dead, I don't think is dead.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think we have to watch everything. And if you look at it and you immediately go, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, then you're wrong too. So that's what the conspiracy theory, tinfoil hats craziness comes from. You got to be skeptical. You got to look at it and you got to question it. You got to know the context. That's why I'm just trying to, and Craig knows this, I'm trying to put out as much information as possible. Timelines that's
the channel, Nothing But the Truth.
Nice. Wow.
And what I do is, because there's so many different things going on from so many different sources, and I got other sources that I cannot reveal. I can't publicly state because there are people involved, and I'm not that kind of person. You give me a, don't say a word. I'm not going to say a word. But I start posting stuff. And when I start posting things, I used to do it on Facebook. I pull back from Facebook.
Smart.
I'm a regular in Facebook jail. They keep pumping you down, and no one wants to believe it. Everybody just wants to know, look, my cat video. Yeah, the world's coming apart, and no one gives a shit about your cat video. Okay. And no one wants to hear it. They want to show pictures of the kids' DIYs of cupcakes, but there's things that's important, and you got to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And some people are getting a real free pass right now because their PR is good.
Yeah. Optics, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's all optics, but you got to be careful. There's this one guy who got kicked out of his group because he's all about truth. But I commented on a Freemason thing, and I'm like, there's no secrets in Freemasonry. No one's worshiping the devil. I've been there. No, that has nothing to do with it, Craig. And you should talk about that before you join the line. But no one, I mean, in my time with the organization, it's all about raising money for people, paying bills, raising money for charities, and real research to try to cure real diseases.
The P45s who are in lineage with the Illuminati. It's all right there, people. I'm telling you, it's right there. It's right in front of our own eyes.
Thanks, Alex. Alex, that's whatever I try to do. But I'm not stating the Illuminati.
Freemasons are turning the frogs.
Freemasons.
Everybody's a scapegoat. They want to use a scapegoat, right? And that's what's been going on because a couple of people get together and they do certain things. What's up, Kate? So it's like the guy didn't want to hear truth, and he goes, "I don't believe anything from whatever, because you pledge your allegiance to what? To what? You take an oath on a Bible, just like you did in the military or whatever. It's to do good and be better at life. That's what it was. It's not, Knights Templars. They're not evil people. They were like Robin Hood, and they learned really quickly. They were doing the teachings. If you really want to get into it, what Christ was trying to teach you, they were doing it. And they pretty much went to the power brokers, King of France, the Pope. And of course, Jacques de Molay got roasted on a spit alive for 3 days. And he never gave up. That's devotion. That's what real truth is. So it's, like you said, keep your eyes, your ears, and your mouth open.
Hey, Ron,
Ron,
there at radio. The Free and the Freemason is the jars that you get during the canning classes that they hold. They teach you how to can. So you get a Freemason jar with every meeting, and then
you get a Freemason jar. There's a lot of liquor being served at the Masons.
Jokes for days.
I mean, I laugh my ass off. Oh, you're the Illuminati, and they look at my bank account and I go, "No, dude."
There you go. Yeah, I was Rotary, Knights of Columbus. Yeah,
it's just
their service organization.
I call Knights of
networking.
Columbus AFC. It's basically a couple, but 99% of these people are really doing good with it. And then you always have that yin yang of it. You have that one bad fucking group that, hey, you want to take over the world later? Yeah, sure. Let's meet in the cave. Okay, and they do something stupid, and they use some of the symbolism. And then they try to connect you, and they spin the album backwards. I buried Paul, and all this other shit. It's not real.
Yeah.
I hope I'm a cool guy.
Yeah,
You're cool.
Yeah, no, it's like I said. Yeah,
cool.
Yep. So is Joey, and he's apparently not sure about me. That's fantastic. Ryan's good. Joey's great. Craig, not really.
I don't know, but I think he might have just pooped on the possum. I don't know.
Yeah. Ron, are you secretly, moonlight as Rudy Wilcox in the Clearwater, Florida area?
Specific. It was all metaphorical, man. It was all
Rudy
metaphorical.
Wilcox sounds like a porn name.
Yeah,
it does actually.
I was trying to do a porn video. Someone posted on Facebook weddings that took place at Walmart. It is insane what goes on in that place.
Wow.
It's really, really crazy.
Yikes.
If you want a conspiracy theory, Walmarts are FEMA camps. Go.
Who the hell knows?
I don't know. I know just moving to Florida, there are a lot of strange people down here.
Yeah, it's a no. There's a. It's one of the. It's definitely it's interesting because you got some of those sites, the people of Walmart. You have all that stuff where it's all the different outfits. Like people go in and you're like, there's some of those. I see those and I'm like, is that really what you thought was the best thing to wear when you're going there? I'm like, wow. I'm like, come on.
My oldest son worked the overnight shift in a West Virginia.
Oh,
Walmart.
Jesus.
And he used to come after 2 a.m. It's interesting. I'm trying to be delicate here.
Are these? Is there any ones that are 24 hours still? Most of them have gone.
At the time, he worked overnight. Yeah. I don't know.
I missed that part where it's like
that was probably about 12 years ago now.
Yeah, I missed that part where that was one of the things. That wonderful 3 years did in was there's a lot of places that are no longer 24 hours.
Yeah. Walmart does they close a lot of their stores and they sold them to the military.
There's
FEMA,
only one problem with that, King. Is like even if that was, some were true, can't do that in Florida. Those would be flooded tunnels. You'd have to have a massive pump system to to pull that one off because the groundwater is so close to the surface. You wouldn't be able to tunnel down here because it's sand. It's sandbar and water.
I've been to a Walmart in up near Freeport, Maine, Brunswick, Maine, and we were barbecuing. We rented cabins in off of Route 1. It was really nice, whatever. And I went inside and it was late. It's like 11:30, 12. And we wanted to get some extra stuff and meat for the next day or whatever. So I go up to the guy by the meat counter. He's wearing the white coat with the blood on it. And I'm like, do you know where I'm asking him where the meat would be. He goes, I don't know. I don't work here. And I immediately turned around and left. The guy he had blood all over his coat. I thought he was the butcher. I don't work here. I'm out.
Damn.
See you later.
I worked in Brunswick, Maine for a year.
Oh, so you know them Walmart then.
1996.
You know the Walmart that's right there, right?
Yeah. I worked there in Brunswick. Wow.
I probably passed over there. And it was open 24/7, and it was which I loved because that's a long time ago.
That's a crazy story, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't work here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't
We're not saying that's not true. I'm just saying it's like it would be really hard. There'd have to be specific locations because those things, like you said, it's definitely you got a lot of flooding there. And then real quick before we get too far, Derek, wanted your thoughts on SSP Monarch.
I really don't have any right now. So
because you're scared, or because you just don't know?
It's not in my
because I'm actually not even sure. I'm currently typing it up because I'm not even sure what that is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm doing the same exact thing, so I feel better.
There you go. Well, get up to speed.
Look, you're making us all do. And of course, when I type in SSP Monarch, all I'm getting is pictures of butterflies.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting too. Yep, that's it. The orange Monarch.
You got to use a different browser. You got to use like a Brave or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, possibly because I was going to say either that or is it? Are you looking for like? Is there a problem with the certain species of Monarch, the SSP Monarch, that they're dying off? I don't.
It's like think MK Ultra. It's another program. It's basically
okay.
Yeah, it's different locations and secret bases and all that other stuff. It's just we're all gonna die after this episode. It's gonna be a giant.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I don't know if Craig ever told you, but I'll share this with you. And you were talking about having a file. Mine goes back to about 2003, 2004 when I was sending certain postcards to the White House through a poetry program. I know I was young. I had kids though. It was kind of nutty. But what was it, Craig? About 3 years ago now, I I'll just say, is a large state university system. I got hired by a department to teach remote classes. They send me all the paperwork. The very first piece of paperwork is from the Department of Homeland Security. It's a vow of loyalty, right? I think that's what they call it. And then there were like 20 pages of the stuff. And I went back to check my work because that's just how I am. The Department of Homeland Security document was gone. It was completely gone from the file, from the e-file. I got completely ghosted. I got all the way through to filing my I-9, went to set up my portals, and I was completely ghosted. So they went, hell no. We're not letting this guy anywhere near your students. So
Yeah.
It was weird.
I got contacted. One of my friends was going for security clearance and different whatever, and he used me as a reference. Bad idea. No. So and I, you have to be really, really serious. They ask you some serious questions.
Yeah.
And he's 100% qualified. I'd interviewed for the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Oh wow.
And I sat there for one of my first jobs in finance. I figured, why not go into the SEC, go in as an SEC agent? Because most people that are brokers and dealers in those $5,000 shoots, when you come in, I'm with the SEC, they shit their pants. Okay. They soil it. So I'm sitting there and it says here you worked at this summer camp. Yeah, I did. Are you sure? And I was just like, it was such a weird, we'll call you. It was really, really strange. It was an intense meeting. And that was one of the things I was thankful that it was obliterated. It was in the Twin Towers that when things came down, that my file is no longer there. And I was interviewing with one of my friend's fathers. Wow. That was just, you don't mess around with the government. Even though there are people in our government currently right now that should not have security clearances, but they're higher up when they get them.
Yeah, I get it's about every 5 or 6 weeks someone contacts me and says, maybe you should do some lighter fare on your show for a while. Just saying. I just get those messages like that.
Yeah, I that's a nice way of saying you're on a subject, get the F off of it.
Yeah.
And for your benefit, it's worth to okay, make your notes, hit on it. Then also realize that whatever you put in electronically is going to go by someplace. So you may want to write it down, and print it up.
I do.
I've gotten contacted by very strange numbers that are all zeros.
Mm-hmm.
And text messages and here, you want to see this. And I got a video. Actually, I posted on there. It's the original video that people recently just started showing. It is a tall gray talking to a Latino man who is an agent.
Yes.
I got that video years ago.
Wow, no kidding. All right. So is that legit, Brian?
That's 100% legit.
Wow. Okay.
Because
I watch it and I go, wow, there's something about it that seems legitimate.
100% delivered to my phone.
Wow.
And it was from a 000. And I downloaded, and it was watch, download now. And I did. And then I offloaded it immediately to something that was offline. And I kept it. And I have a certain little area on my phone. I have real images of extraterrestrials that were sent to me and stuff.
Wow.
But you can just only visit so much,
right.
And I know it's government because I had to call up the U.S. Marshals at one point because somebody was calling in with they're trying a collection agent, and he was being a real asshole because he confused me with a different Brian that was in Brooklyn, right? I said, that's not me. None of this is me. I'm telling you the truth. And he goes, this is U.S. Marshals. And I said, I have family in the government, in feds, and they really don't like when you imitate federal officers. I was giving the guy an out. I got it. Right. I mean, the guy was an idiot because he used his cell phone. So I have his cell phone fucking number, and so I contacted U.S. Marshal, told him what they were doing because I know, well, they'll fix his wagon. And I got contacted back But when they called me, it was all zeros, but it said U.S. Marshal Southern District, New York, and it scrolled across. I said, okay. But the other one was, it said U.S. government. That's all it said.
Mm.
And
When I was,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No. It's it's kind of unnerving. You go on
Yeah.
with life. I'm not doing anything bad. Oh,
Right. When I was doing field investigations a lot, we had my wife and I had 2 guys that we did a lot of investigations with, and they would come to our house for the weekend. Within 10 minutes of them leaving, we would get an all zeros phone number every time, just to go, hey, we're aware that you were together, and now we're aware that you were apart. And then the weirdest thing, it might have just been a coincidence, but I don't know. But I'm sort of the Mothman guy. We're known as one of the guys who really does a lot of stuff with Mothman. Tanya and I were driving down to Point Pleasant, West Virginia one day, and it was a spontaneous trip. Nobody knew who we were going, and we get a phone call from Roswell, New Mexico. It came right up on the screen in her car on our way from Ohio to. And by the time we looked at each other and was like, holy shit, Roswell, New Mexico's calling. Like, what is this about? By the time we hit the answer button, the line was dead. So it might have just been someone else just kind of going, we know you guys are on your way to Point Pleasant for your investigation this weekend.
But you gotta ask, like you're not giving away the farm, you're not giving away any secrets.
Right.
What's the point to this? You know, like you know what? I've been investigating this for decades. This stuff. I have 2 incidents recently of missing time. That's the only time with craft. Had encounters with Bigfoot. I was no more than 12 feet from a dogman sitting there, urinating in front of him, which is good.
Wow.
Totally interesting story. So it's like, I don't remember I don't recall anything that took place in any of those missing time periods. And I always say the same thing. If I have alien children, hybrids, I just want their social security number so I can declare it on my taxes.
There you go. Not bad. How much time have you missed?
The first was 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
And the second was 3 hours. And the second one involved not only me, but this was in North Carolina near Fort Bragg. It was me, my wife, and my 2 kids.
Yeah, Tanya and I lost 2 hours and 15 minutes in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in 2009. That's how we got involved in doing this stuff.
Oh, I'll tell you some theories on Point Pleasant and the Mothman and why they're there. If you want it now, I'll do it now. I'm sorry.
We can do it. It's definitely a portal area. Is that what you were going to say? Or
real quick before you guys get there. I saw Derek's comment down here. You couldn't revolt to that SSP. When I first saw it, I could have sworn that said Dad. I was laughing over here. I was trying to keep from busting up laughing, and then I realized he was doing Department of Defense. I was like, it was a completely different statement until I realized he was talking about Department of Defense.
Yeah.
That's because we're talking about Walmart's at 2:00 in the morning. That's why.
Yeah.
And then this one too. I have not heard about that. I mean, is that an adjustment to to the calendar? Because what is that?
I heard about that recently. Just recently that you're bringing this up, but then she is this woman right here, Joe. Get her on your show. She is the best in the business, psychic wise. Super talented, amazing, wonderful person. You need, if you want to talk to somebody, call her up, get a reading. I'm not kidding. She's really fucking out of this world.
Cool.
And she knows her stuff on other things too. She investigates. She's out of Canada.
Right, Mothman and action.
Mothman, Point Pleasant.
I'm going to explain it to you. So this is going to explain a couple of things. It's going to explain the Mothman. It's going to explain the flying winged humanoids that are currently in Chicago. Okay. It also explains black-eyed children. The first collider was Fermilab in Illinois. That was the first collider. They ramped it up and they shut it down immediately. They were looking for quantum, time-traveling quantum type of machines, fuels to travel in space and time. Ramped it up really quick, cut it off. When they cut it off was the same time then the paranormal investigator, I forgot her name, she coined the Mandela effect. And the reason why you coined the Mandela effect is, let's start working it this way. I need some stuff to play around with. I'm gonna play with, if this is our timeline, this is timeline A.
Right.
This is timeline B. They're next to each other, right?
Yep.
When you blow up and you screw up on the timeline and you fracture. So what happened is we
Why is
grew
that
up in
green
this.
screen?
What?
Why is that green screening? That blue one?
The blue one? This one?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I think it's just reflecting. Is it a silver lighter?
it's because it's drugs. It's one of those puffers.
Oh,
See how it just like green screened?
yeah,
No.
yeah. I guess
I don't know
it's
why mine's green
whatever the
screen.
coating is on it. or
It's
whatever.
really weird. It's like you show it, like you said, it was literally, it's
Yeah.
like all of a sudden you're like, are you in one of those NASA fake films?
Yeah,
Like all of a
there you
sudden
go.
you're like in some other different location and that's just a little clue.
It's
Yeah.
floating. So what happened is they
I don't,
fractured.
I'll say the same thing. Are you using a fake background?
No, not that beard fake. That what happened is that collider, not knowing what they did, they fractured timelines. Okay, so timeline A is obliterated. Timeline B, C, D. There's a couple of them, and when they were joined back together, you now have two timelines here.
Mhm.
You have the half that we started with up to the point Mandela died here. Over here, Mandela didn't die in this timeline.
Right.
Now here's where the winged cryptids come in from, and the Mothman and all it. It involves the same type of fracture and a lot of energy. What is down in Point Pleasant? The TNT factory.
Yeah.
You know they blew shit up there. Okay.
Oh yeah, the ordnance play. Yeah.
Right. When you break things, what happens? The energy expended, it can create a portal.
Yep.
When you join it back together again, it's never going to be joined perfectly.
Right.
So there are cracks in our timeline, and interdimensionally, there are interdimensional beings like Mothman, like the wing, because the Mothman and these winged cryptids out of Chicago are basically one and the same. And then the black-eyed kids come in and they're like, what the hell is that? And they go through the crack, and that's why they just like, what are we doing here? That's why they come in, and then they figure out a way to go back out. And not
all my research bears that out, Brian. Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Now, when was Fermi? Because I thought it was the Large Hadron Collider that triggered.
No,
Mandela
this was
effect.
in I was going to say like the early 2000s, 2000 something. It ramped up in the late 90s, ramped it up. They really didn't know what they were doing, and it's a huge collider.
Yeah,
just like the one in CERN. It's one of the first ones. Okay. And Firmlab, FIRM, something like that. I'm spelling.
Yeah, Fermilab.
Yeah, they actually started to go back online again. Okay.
Right.
And,
okay.
They stopped it. It scared the crap out of them, and then they
I don't know
cut
if it's
it
pronounced
off.
Batavia or Batavia,
Right.
Illinois.
And they cut it down, and it's the same time when they shut it down, when that the paranormal researcher, I forgot her name, thought that Mandela was dead, said, no, I know he's dead. And then they looked it up, and that's where you get the Mandela effect. Because in my timeline up to that point and yours, there was a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Looms. I saw it. I remember seeing it. But because there's always going to be something different in every timeline. So if you have 20 timelines, there's going to be always something different. There's going to be the good Brian, the evil Brian, the wee sexy Brian, the drunk bastard Brian, whatever. Everything's going to tweak a little bit, and that's why you're getting this craziness. Also, I don't know if you recall, but a lot of these conflicts that we had in the past, they would go up like, oh, we're having an argument with them, then it would stop. And we'd go like this for a long while, and then like, another conflict, and then now everything's just like this. Everything's just going and going and going.
Yep.
And this is just to the west of Chicago. Like here's
right.
That's all Chicago right there.
And another thing is, I do readings for people. I do readings. I do a remote viewing, but I also do readings, psychic readings. And I was actually explaining to the lady that's on the screen. first of all, I know when they're ramping up these things and things start to happen because I'm sensitive to whatever. And I gave people readings, and I want mile markers. Please tell me if it X, Y, Z, something happens, because I just saw this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I know you're within a time frame.
Right.
What I did readings for 4 people way back when they did they ramped up the Collider CERN on July 4th or 5th.
Mhm.
I was on edge the whole week.
Yeah.
And certain things are supposed to happen didn't happen. Then they did the Collider, didn't happen. And everything that where we were supposed to be, because I can see it in my mind, calendar wise, I'm like, March, April, blah, blah, blah. Everything was off by 2 to 3 months. Everybody I talked to, they said, well, it didn't happen. Then it happened 2 months later. There's other guy, dude, it wasn't happening. 2 months later, it happened. So I know that they can monkey around. And I think what they're doing is good and evil here. There are some of us trying to get everybody on that timeline. That's the bad one. And then someone comes in, they have a fight, and then someone goes, nope, we're going to go back this way.
Yeah.
And we're paying the price of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's some of them that get me. Like one for me is the Fruit of the Loom. The cornucopia. I swear I see that image with, the cornucopia with all the fruit. And I was tied in it, and that's one of the things. They're like, nope, we've never had that logo.
Yes, you did.
And that's one of the.
Yeah, there are some compelling ones.
It's like that one. I mean,
Pillsbury Doughboy, blue scarf or not.
Well, the 4 didn't have the Piggly Wiggly thing that I remember. It was just an F.
Yeah, I always remember the curl. Yeah, like I said, that's.
Yeah. I don't remember. There was a curl, but it wasn't where they said it is. It's like it was at one end of it, not both of them. So, I mean, and that would explain it, because if you think about timelines, I mean, we're getting into some really heavy stuff as far as timelines are concerned of emerging. Yeah. We definitely have merged a bunch of timelines. And I think we're going to get to a point right now where some people are going to be left behind. We talked to a couple other people about 3D world, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6 and 7D worlds. There are a lot of people going to be stuck in the 3D, and other people are going to do ascending to 4 and to 5 and what have you. And it's a totally different ball game.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I don't know about the Mandela thing about McDonald's or Big Macs. Don't know about that.
Here, just for anybody that like what we were talking about here, real quick. This is for some people that don't remember. Like, here's the Fruit of the Loom one.
Yeah, I know the Looney Tunes one too, because I got Bugs Bunny tattooed on my shoulder. So I know that was bullshit too.
Yeah, so that's so I remember the one with the cornucopia, the little basket thing. I remember that one.
Guaranteed. I also remember in our timeline they actually, put a lot of food in those, planters and all these other products, and now it's like 6 ounces or 3 ounces. That's a little economy joke.
When we were kids, was it TUNES?
Yeah, it was loony. Yeah, it was not. Yeah, it wasn't that. It was hold on, I'll tell you exactly what it is, because I'm not gonna play it for everybody, but I have Bugs Bunny Nips to Nips on my phone. It's a classic. You got to watch it, and I'll open that up. If you haven't seen that, they use Bugs Bunny for propaganda in World War II.
Oh yeah,
and it's incredible. I'm gonna see if it comes up
now.
Yeah,
Craig,
like the Monopoly guy with the monocle.
Yeah, Tanya and I talk about this all the time. The people could confuse the Monopoly guy with the Planters Peanuts guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, this is the skepticism that I'm talking about. It's just healthy research, looking for alternatives.
Yeah.
Actually, can we talk about the one that really? I get on that.
No, but hold on. You guys didn't answer the question. Was it TOONS or was it TUNES when we were kids?
I remember myself. I remember the O's,
and I would think it was Tunes, not like TUN. It wasn't. It was Looney Tunes. Yeah,
like short for cartoons.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
the
Looney Tunes, right? Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I was like I could bring up the picture. You remember those ones where it was like, was this where what color do you see? You remember that dress one where it was supposed to like black and
Oh,
gold,
yeah.
and other people are
Yep.
seeing like kind of like this green and pink. I'm looking at these things. My wife, she sees the thing. I'm like, I looked at her. She's like, no, I see that. I'm like, are you on drugs? I'm like, how are you seeing this color? I'm like, I'm looking right at it. I'm like, how? Where do you see this color? I'll see if I can find it and bring it up here and we can
I
start
think I
that.
saw that.
The
That was
dress.
that was a long time ago. But I
Yeah.
think I saw the green pink. I think I was one of the people who saw that.
Yeah,
Here's something very interesting about colors and patterns and all that stuff. I have friends that if you ask them, what color is 3? Oh, it's a red plaid.
Yeah, one of my best friends sees colors.
It's the weirdest. It is
Yeah,
so
sees
weird.
numbers as colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of them are straight colors. It's more like and
Yeah.
he'll give you what it looks like, and he'll draw it. And some of it looks like a Scotch pattern on a like a kilt, and some of it, it's like we're like, dude, what are you smoking right now? He goes, no, this is how I see it. It's
Which
really
is
bizarre,
interesting because that's
Yeah.
what they do with the colorblind test that you take when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's those.
I don't think that's
interesting things.
influence, though. I think that's exactly what they're seeing.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that's what he says. Since the time he was a kid, he sees numbers as colors, and he's an engineer. He's a brilliant engineer.
Well,
Okay. So what are we supposed to see here, Craig?
This is dress illusion. So this is like here's another picture. Let me
That's
stop this one. I'll bring this other
It's
one.
blue and black.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, do you see blue and black or do you see gold and white?
Oh,
blue and black.
And that's the
I'd like to take Disney for 500, Chris. No.
oh here's the other. This is the other one.
Oof.
Okay, this is the one besides the dress. All right, I want to say poll right now. What does everybody see? I'm not even going to say what I see.
Talk about
What does everybody see in this picture?
I'll tell you as soon as it comes up. You want me to tell you what I see?
Yeah, what color? Everybody just start saying what colors do you see?
Okay, I see a white sneaker that's under a blue light and the rubberized area or leather.
We're talking about colors here. We're not getting not an analytical thing on how this occurred here, sir.
Gray and an aqua, Craig. Jesus. So I worked for Warner Brothers for a while, and I had to do mall stuff and I went to one of the stores, and they were like, one of the guys was like, the Disney people are bothering us. I said, well, why don't we just all get together and kick the shit out of them?
So, Craig, the sneaker and the bottom of the sole are gray, and the trim and the highlights and the shoelaces are a foam green
or aqua. Yeah.
I'm a bit colorblind, so you can say aqua.
Foam green is you're in the aqua zone.
Yeah, that's kind of because that's what I say. I see gray,
but it
gray
looks
and green.
more. It looks more green to me than blue. But I do.
Yeah, it is. I'm
problems.
trying to get up there so I can tell you what other people. There's people that see pink and white.
Oh, weird.
Pink and white.
Yeah.
They need new monitors.
What does that mean?
I don't know if it's eyesight as much as it like maybe their monitors aren't working.
That's what it is. It's like there's people that see that like you'll do it right here and you'll like, and I can't remember if is this one of the dress like my wife does it here and I'm like, I go, what are you looking at? We're not looking at the same picture here.
Green and gray. There you go. You know what? Let's try another one. What? How many fingers do I have?
It's one of those. These are some of those illusions where it's really interesting to see like people's perceptions and stuff. Because it's like you see those things and you're like, I'm like, I don't know where you're getting these colors. I'm like, I'm literally looking at here and somebody's like, they're complete like that dress. They see this gold. They see gold. And like I said, I'm like, I am literally looking at blue and black.
Mm-hmm.
But they see gold and they see this other thing, and I'm like. I can't. It's like it's one of those things. It's like at the end of the day, is it really that big of a no? But it's just like wrapping my head around it. I'm just like, I don't understand.
So this is what I'm going to on a scientific way of thinking about it. I studied color and I studied the effects of color. Like red increases your blood pressure. This is why certain colors like brown and yellow are used in fast food restaurants because it increases your appetite.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on with colors psychologically, right? That's
Yeah.
why when you see a red sports car, you get excited because your blood pressure is fucking going up, right? So what I can say is that there's probably some people in the birth process when they're creating the lens over the eye, the cornea and the iris, there must be a filter that is a defect in the lens or the filter that kind of filters out certain things and unbeknownst to them. And the slightest bit of change in a lens, I mean, if you're a photographer, you know you have a really shitty lens. It doesn't matter if you're Ansel Adams, you're not getting a good shot.
Right
So
on.
maybe there's a defect that's being played out, but either that or they're smoking meth, Craig.
Well,
You're-
see, but you said that Katie sees gold and white.
Katie saw gold and white.
In that shoe?
No, in the
Oh, in the dress.
in the dress.
Interesting.
That's weird. That's
See,
incredible.
but that's what I mean. Is it's like here's what this is the difference. Like some people see it on the left, they see gold and white. Others see blue and black.
Mm.
Could
Like
it also be? I mean, yeah. Well, it looks like if you inverted the right one, you'd get the left one, and maybe it's a quick inversion, and the monitor's inverting it because it could be monitor based. It would be different. I'd like to see this in this format and then live. Bring somebody in. You know, physically we're doing the same thing because there could be something at play here on monitors on the size of your screen. I mean, you get an iPhone, it has the 4K glass on it. Everything looks great, right? I look like a supermodel on the iPhone. Not here.
Put a
you
little
know.
Vaseline over the camera and all that stuff, and I'll look amazing. Oh,
Great. You know, and
I have a
so-
face for radio and a voice for print, baby.
that's why he has an OnlyFans page. Look for Craig with $sign after his name. But that's why, like, you know, it's all depends on your devices. You can have 3 different Apple products, and it's going to change. It's going to do things, you know, everything differently. I don't know how. I mean, it could be your eyesight. It could be Katie's phone. It could be her connection. You know, there's a lot of variables here, but if you were in person and you brought out some cloth and you put it down in front of me and you said, I see blue, I see gold and white, that would be a better test. Digitally on a screen, it's weird. I guess it's how it's rendered or processed. You know, maybe it is golden. Maybe if you take that and because the colors are red, green, yellow, blue, and depending on what channels are coming in and how quickly they're coming in, doesn't your eye register the first thing it notices versus then the longer you stare at it?
Let's see, Katie. Let's see, Katie was on this. I can put this up real quick here. I was just about out of time here. All right. All right. Here's the first. Oh wait, no, they don't want to do that one. That one changes. That one changes the as you look at it, it starts changing the colors.
Oh, it's like a GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want that. So here's. All right. I want to bring this up here. Okay, here it is. This is just a close up. This is just a close up of it.
His corn pop put that corn in the cob up his ass. Sorry.
There it is. That's the one without the side by side. So I said, so like that's the image that people say you'll see blue and black or gold and white. I see blue and black. I mean, I just like instantly. I don't. And you'll get the people that'll see, you know, they'll look at it and they're like, no, it's gold and white. And you're just like, you know, it almost hurts my head trying to figure it out.
But there is gold there is something golden in the presence and on the left-hand side there. And I don't know. I mean, this is really weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Alan said, I see a flat ass.
They said
Now you
Casey's
see
blue and black in that one. That's right.
When it was first posted, most people saw it as gold and white. and apparently it's a lighting. I was just reading an article about it.
Mhm.
It's a lighting issue. It's your perception of where the light and shadow is, and then based on that perception, your eye is changing
Listen.
the colors.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't see shit.
What is that from?
Nothing. I used to do that, like oh, put the glass. I did it at the optometrist. Like, okay, put these on. And they look, oh, they look good. And then I go, they're great. You know, they're really great. They're working fine. She's looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Oh my gosh.
By the way, my primary care physician called me and asked to have Dr. Bowden call them back at the office. So now I'm officially a doctor with my primary care physician.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, I'll take that upgrade. You get to the front desk quicker, right? So
Yeah.
Here's something to for shots fired on people. This always gets people stirred up. All right, we'll play it here. I'll give it a second here for Brian to catch up.
I'm seeing it.
Are you seeing it now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel like for people
I saw this one from you.
Yep. So he's talking about it's like
Uh-oh.
yeah, shots fired. Yeah, so
See how that sounds?
JK, everybody.
See how that sounds? It's beginning to look a lot like syphilis.
Oh my god.
All around your nose.
I've got some memes I could share that gets me in trouble. Yeah, it's like,
I got a great one, but I ain't sharing it.
Oh, I know. All right. Well, we're at that time. Can you believe that's 2 hours?
Can we do caroling? You know what I wanted to do, Joey? When you were talking about pirates, I suggested it to Craig, but no one was paying attention. I suggested it to Chris. We need to do a rum night, and we drink rum while we're doing the show, and then we all go out and take over another podcast. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you guys are actually taking over another podcast tonight because at 10 a.m. on ERT Radio, your sponsor, Craig and I, Sinister Mysteries is playing right now.
Yes.
So talk about the Mandela effect. No. So for the past 2 minutes, our show on Rendlesham Forest has been playing on ERT Radio.
And that's why Ron is the man. And if you want to get a good Ron, gift, go to Ron and buy a clock, buy a hat, just get something from Ron, and you can support ERT Radio and the entertainment.
That's right. All the cool swag, all the good merch. So go over there now. So if you want, because
eventually, I think it would look pretty good if I ended up getting an ERT clock right up here.
That would look good.
I will send you the ERT clock that I purchased from Ron. If you want the ERT clock, I will send
you. You know how hard it is to do it when everything's backwards. It's so ridiculous.
If Ron, if you're going to be at Gettysburg this year, we'll buy another one. I'll buy another one. I have the sticker. I have the silicone bands. I have the sticker.
He's also in another location somewhere because apparently he's on a green screen.
The cock ring and also the Thank you for all that.
No one ever sent me that.
Don't need that one.
I was a little, it's like
I just have a magnet.
That was a limited edition of, one of one that was given to Brian.
Damn it.
See, look at his shirt. Dude, you're on green screen.
Yeah, you just pixelated again.
Yeah. Are you on green screen? I mean, literally, are you for NASA?
I'm not on green
screen. Are you support like here? I mean, I want you to blink twice if you're in distress.
Can you lean back? I think it's when he leaned back. Yeah,
yeah,
see? Yeah, it's pixelating. It's getting weird.
It's really weird. Like when you held up that thing, I mean, it was literally like it was showing an image behind you. And that's why I said, I mean, have you been taken and you're in a black site?
I'm using this camera right there instead of using the other one because the other one looks like I've been working in some kind of.
If you get a change, like you said, when you get, like I said, I'm not sure if it showed up on your monitor or not, but when you view it, you just got to look at, like when you held up that vape, it was just it was showing a picture, like an image behind you.
I noticed that. There it is. Actually,
yeah,
there's
mine's
yeah.
not doing it. Yeah,
Well,
that's
this is
really
the Apple.
interesting.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, it's a
Yeah,
fireplace. It's showing a fireplace in a
Yeah,
cabinet.
are you sitting across from directly across from a fireplace?
No, but this is really cool. Maybe we opened up a portal.
I mean,
you're
literally,
not-
there's no
you're not
fireplace in front of
sitting-
you.
You're not facing a stone fireplace?
No.
What?
Dude,
the
it's showing a
hell?
cabinet, a stone fireplace, a couch, the front door.
Yeah, with like a bunch of windows in it.
I don't
No
know.
kidding.
That looks a lot better than my damn room.
A couch.
Now it's really coming in.
Yeah,
This is so cool.
that's a stone
Maybe-
fireplace with. Yeah,
Isn't that cool?
that is weird
The
as
things you
hell.
learn.
You're,
I
are you
swear to
pulling our
God-
legs? You're really not
swear to
sitting
God.
across from a stone fireplace.
No. I'm not sitting in here. No. Nothing.
No, like in
No,
front, behind the
directly
camera.
in front of you.
Like you're looking at the fireplace.
No. This is my New York State UFO project shirt, and I will lift up my thing, and you can see.
Turn,
There's
keep turning.
the monitor and my window.
Okay, dude, that is
What?
crazy.
What the hell is it reflecting?
I have no idea, but like I said, this is the stuff that we do, and it's everybody's frozen now. Yeah, it's
But no, but
very
that's
weird.
why we kept saying it's like you're showing. It's like, dude, are you on green screen? Because as you held it up, it was like a completely different image. That's
don't
what it's
need it.
doing. That is cool.
I don't need a green screen here because hold on, I have something really green right here. Let's see if this works.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, there's a
But
grand
there's the
piano.
fireplace again. A grand piano, a fireplace.
I want to move to
A
wherever the fuck
couch.
this is being right now. I want to move.
Whoa,
that
that right
that.
there. No, what you're see, look at that. That is the closer you get to it, the crystal clearer it gets. Right there.
Yeah, it looks
Look
like
at
a catalog photo.
That is literally like you've opened up a portal to
Serious?
another home.
Is this an Airbnb or something like that?
Yeah, you're seeing it now, right?
I'm seeing it right now. Yeah,
That
I don't know
what
how
the
that-
hell is going on?
I have no idea. Hold on, does my hand do it?
No,
No. No,
It
only
is-
something with like a little bit of a shine or reflective
With-
surface.
or
to
with
it.
green in it. Let me see something here.
yeah, I don't have anything that's
It does it through the
on the metal can too.
does it through some of the yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, it's still there. I can see the piano.
Oh,
Yeah, like I said, I don't have anything metallic I could hold up to see if it does to my camera either. But that's
No, I
nice.
know. Yeah. Oh, here.
I mean, I stopped doing drugs for a while, but
My
this is really cool.
sword.
There you
Nope.
go.
Nope.
That's not doing anything.
This is like what is it? David
All I have is a metal
Wilcox's,
stapler. That's like,
No, nothing.
nope, nothing.
Weird.
That's crazy.
See, it would have been great
Brian's
if when
room is a portal.
I pulled out a cod piece. Let me see if my cod piece works.
Stand up,
Oh no. I'm
chrome
not
finish
taking
cod
out-
piece.
No, I'm not taking out my cod piece tonight. Thank you. It's staying.
There's
in
nothing on.
place.
It's just like like the silver finish is like just showing it, but that because you can see a little bit in like the
Whoa, but
Altoids.
What
thing.
is that picture though?
Yeah,
Which I don't know what that picture is. I'd like to know what the picture is. I mean, I will investigate that, but I've
It
never.
looks like a nice cozy place.
I know. I'd like to
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, there
It's just-
it is.
I just need to go there with somebody. You know, get it
Wow.
romantic. bring
the
my
part that would the part that would really freak me the hell out is all of a sudden somebody just comes walking in that
would be
room.
pretty damn cool. wouldn't
Oh
it?
my god, I would just be I'd be like,
Eyeball
we're talking
or
about
Leads
Project
in,
Looking.
right?
We're
Yeah.
talking about Project Looking Glass,
Who
and
the
here we
hell
are,
is
just like something just.
Whoa. That was nuts.
Yeah,
If you figure out where that image is coming from, Brian, let us know.
I will find out because
yeah, that's
Oh.
so that's a hell of a way to finish the show. All right,
It looks like a Sears catalog kind of.
it does,
you know.
or an Airbnb advertisement. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Oh
but
wow.
I mean, this would explain why my youngest is like, I'm not sleeping upstairs. There's fucking aliens up there. There's a clown. He's trying to kill me. Okay, honey, come on down.
yeah,
Jump
no,
on the
that's definitely that's definitely an interesting. That's cool. That's cool. All right,
Oh,
yep, see, there it is again.
Oh wow.
partially.
It's there.
I don't know where the hell this is. That's a nice baby granny.
Yikes,
Nice
it
plant.
is.
Nice
And that
rug.
fireplace is well.
I'm really hoping someone peeks their fucking in. That is cool. I'm trying different colors to see if it works with it. I don't use a green screen. I never ever had used a green screen.
Nope.
Uh,
Nothing there.
What? Because yellow would. What place in Florida has flagstone fireplaces? I have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, for all we know, this is like some other. This is upstate New York. This is just this could be.
You know what? I don't know where it is, but I want to leave here and go there right now.
Wow. All right. Well, so what you got coming up next week there, Mr. Joey?
Well, tomorrow night, I'm just looking on I'm looking on the internet for an image of Black Baby Grant. Tomorrow night, I have Mark Fiorentino coming on the show, who may have a very big announcement. I don't even know what I'm allowed to say. Mark has been studying the theory of relativity since he was 10 years old. He's a friggin' genius, and he's working on some things that are just very big. And Brian, you may be clued into this. He's going to be talking about these seismic patterns that are of concern with volcanoes and fault lines and things. He's identifying some. He sent me some charts and graphs. He thinks it's kind of Armageddon-ish.
Yeah, I can
the
tell
activity.
That.
What's that?
But yeah, no, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so he's going to be talking about that tomorrow night. He's the author of Master of Reality. And then next week, Craig and I do Sinister Mysteries 27. Woodrow Wilson is
Woodrow
in the
Wilson.
crosshairs.
Oh, he's another asshole that thank God for.
Yep.
That's why I told him, I go, as bad as it sounds, he's one that, if you could dig him up, pee on the grave. As I said, it's a lot of people don't realize a lot of the stuff that we're going through is because of that guy.
Yeah, he was in bed with J.P. Morgan, who the whole German war reparations money went right in Morgan's pocket. He was funding everybody. So we got a lot to talk about.
And there's an evil son of a bitch that just dropped dead too. Thank God.
Well, he's January. He's our first show of January. We're going to tackle
Kissinger. We're going to be talking about him.
SOB. Oh,
you know what? When you're talking to him about the theory that he's talking about with volcanoes, because they're all popping right now, talk to him about pole shifts and timeline, time warps, time spins.
Yeah, we absolutely will. Or join in if you can and ask the questions in the chat room. Mark's a really cool guy. I don't know how much he's going to announce about what he's doing. I'll let you guys know after we go dark.
Sure.
Awesome. All right. Brian, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm probably going to throw up a little bit later. That'll be coming up. I'm probably going to have heartburn. I pretty much went to my board meeting and 3 people on the board I almost made cry. So no, I'm good.
Yep, that's one of Bill Murray's best lines is from Ghostbusters.
Heck yeah.
Dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats living together, total chaos.
Yep,
Lenny.
Katie, thank you so much. Really appreciate you tuning in. That's great.
Down there, Lenny.
So it's an open date right now. We'll probably have something, so I don't have anything to tease for next week. But like I said, in 2 weeks, we're going to have Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, including all the many hundreds of podcasts that names he's come up with, Brian, that Brian doesn't ever seem to take off with.
I don't do the 9,000 podcasts or whatever with Dave Scott, but he's the only one that's done it. We should do some caroling, like, I think you have a really nice bum 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 bum. Play around with
I don't know if that carol would be any less offensive than the one where you go to a door, you knock on it, and you demand figgy pudding. And you keep getting more and more belligerent about how somebody's supposed to bring you figgy pudding. It's one of the weirdest ones. It's like, who goes to a random person's house and demands food? And if they don't, give it to you, you keep getting more and more insistent upon why they should give you food. It's one of the weirdest, Christmas songs that you go to sing. I don't understand how that even became a popular one. Yeah, so maybe we could talk about that. Coming
we
up, Weird Christmas Songs podcast by Brian M. Bowden.
Oh yeah,
There's-
nursery rhymes are about some weird stuff. Ring Around the Rosies about the pox, and
Yeah.
London Bridge is
Yeah.
falling down as the Vikings pulling it down.
That was weird. See, we're getting
Oh,
booted.
there you go. You're getting your
Yeah,
circles.
yep.
All right.
No, so
There
one
he
of the
is
things that
going
I know
to
we're
the
going to talk
portal.
about too, because Dave, when we go live, he's
There it
just
is.
getting off work. So we're going to be talking
Nice.
for the
Cool.
first probably half hour. We're going to be talking about Krampus on that
Krampus
show.
is-
Yes, last night was Krampus night.
Yes.
Yeah, did you see the one in Germany and
the
one
procession
over-
where all the different ones dressed up as Krampus?
Dude, we got to take a trip.
That was freaking awesome. I was like to my wife, like, how cool is that? She goes, no. I'm like, oh, that'd be amazing. So yeah. All right. We got to wrap this up. It's already 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is the longest show we've ever done.
Woo!
Yeah,
When you
like I said, I
when
can do
you
3
wind me
hours,
up, I
no
don't
problem.
wind down.
Yeah, I can do 3 hours, no problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up till 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
easy.
it's gonna be, look out, coast to coast. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. The
Dude,
queen
Dave Scott
rises to the top, Hogan. Ooh.
Dave
Oh,
Scott
yeah.
show for us on the East Coast goes from 12 midnight to 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And you know
I've
what
done
sucks
that
about
before.
that? Like you're tired by the time you hit the bed, you're like, God, I'm up. I know I'm up already.
But in his defense, it's 9 to noon. 9 to noon. It's 9 to midnight.
That's,
So
that's,
it's
over in the West Coast, but
Yeah.
for us, it sucks.
yeah, for like I said, East Coast. That's why growing up, that's why I could never figure out why East Coast didn't give a care about anybody on the West Coast, like sports and everything like that. It's because we're all asleep.
Yeah.
Over here on the East Coast, it's like, when's the game start? 7:00 Pacific. Holy crap, that's 10:00. I'm not staying up for that game. I'm going to bed. Yep, that's what it is. So we keep going. All right, we got to stop. All right,
Yeah,
everybody.
hard out.
Have a great night. Joey, thank you so much, sir.
Oh,
see.
thank you. Number 8
That's,
went
that was number
big.
8. We definitely got to get number 9 on here because like I said, I know it's
Touch
good
the
for you to
hair.
just let the hair down. Unlike me, I don't have any hair to let down anymore.
I got it in a ponytail tonight. Next time I'll let it
So that,
down.
I took all the hair off.
I'm
There
gonna
you
shave
go.
just
Look
the
at
sides
that.
and give myself a MacGyver.
Oh, I'm not one of those fools that thinks the comb over looks good. I'm like,
Oh,
when that
no,
hair
it's
starts
bad,
going,
dude.
this gets
Cut
out
it
here, and I'm
down.
like, because I think I've got the shape of a head that rocks the bald. Okay, so
That's
it's like,
Full
looking
Metal
good,
Jacket
man.
right there, Craig. That's Full Metal Jacket.
yeah, it's like. I'm just excited about it. I'm not looking. I think one of the best ones is I see here. I'm done. I go the John Candy when the Stripes in the movie where they're holding their hair like they're all shocked after they get their shape. They're like he's holding his hair like what the hell just happened.
They didn't tell them they were doing that when they filmed it, and
Yeah.
that's all real reaction.
That's what. Yeah. So they're
Very
just like
cool.
all of a sudden just like you're getting buzzed in real time. That's good.
Yeah.
God, see, this is where we could go. 40-year-old
Yeah,
virgin, same thing. That whole wax scene was improv.
Oh my God, you look like a man o' lantern. That is such
The
a
whole
great-
part when he's getting waxed, that is all unscripted. Yeah. So when he's saying all those lines he's saying, everybody's reaction, that is all real time. The lady waxing him, everything is real time. None
That's
of that
great.
was scripted. The only thing that they were going to do was like the wax scene. That was on the script. But everything that happened after that action, they just kept the camera rolling because that was completely off script. And
Another movie
that's one of the
that
things. Just amazing.
great lines in it. I'm gonna be killing more people. If I keep
All right, so we gotta have Joey back on for part 2 so we can continue this. Like I said, this is one.
Right
of
on. Sounds good.
Otherwise, we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna get in trouble because it's like, aren't you coming to bed?
I think we're talking to ourselves, but yeah, my wife said I will be in bed by the time you're done. So
Yeah, it's the same thing. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, hey, everybody,
Thank you, guys.
I'll see us out with the Buffalo Bill thing, and we will see everybody on
Yeah,
this.
let me
Like,
see if
we'll
I
check
can
out.
see it this time.
Let's see. Maybe you'll see it this time. We'll hope.
Yeah.
All right. So, everybody, have a good night. We will see you on the next show. Good night.